Hi everyone! In this video, we will solve equations with decimal coefficients. Decimals can sometimes get tricky, so we have a method in which we can get rid of all of the decimals. You could, if you like decimals, work this out. However, we can multiply everything by a multiple of 10 that will get rid of all of the decimals. We need the multiple of 10 to have the same amount of zeros as the largest amount of decimal places. Here we have 2 decimal place values and 2 decimal place values, so the largest amount is 2. That means I multiply the left-hand side of the equation and the right-hand side by a multiple of 10 with 2 zeros, which gives us 100. So we'll multiply left and right by 100, and we'll need to multiply this in using the distributive property so it goes to both terms. When we multiply by a multiple of 10, we move the decimal place to the right the same amount of zeros as place values, and since we have 2 zeros, we move this 2 place values to the right, making this 463t. Again, we'll move the decimal with a 3 as well, and since the 3 doesn't have one, we can place it right at the end and move it 2 place values to the right, giving us 300. Then we'll multiply with the distributive property, the 100 into here. 100 times 3 is 300. T minus, again, we'll move the decimal place 2 place values since the 100 has 2 zeros and makes this 463. Notice we don't have any more decimals, so it makes it a little easier to work with. Now we need to isolate all of the variables to one side, so I will subtract 300t from both sides. On the right side, 300t minus 300t cancels. On the left, 463 minus 300 gives us 163t, minus 300 equals negative 463. Now we need to continue isolating, so we'll add 300 to both sides. On the left side, negative 300 or minus 300 plus 300 cancels, so we have 163t equals negative 463 plus 300 gives us a negative 163. Now we need to isolate the variable by dividing by 163 on both sides. And on the left side, negative 163 divided by 163 cancels. On the right side, negative 163 divided by 163 gives us negative 1. So our answer is t equals negative 1. And that's the solution to our equation. Don't forget when you're working on your own to go ahead and substitute it back into the variables to check your answer. If you get a true statement, then the answer you got is correct. And we're all done.